When scientists first saw the image, they thought there had to be a mistake. The numbers didn't fit. The galaxies were too bright, too massive, and far too ancient to exist so soon after the birth of the universe. But there they were, scattered across a single colossal frame that stretched 13.5 billion years into the past. What the James Webb Space Telescope captured wasn't just another photograph of deep space, it was a direct challenge to the timeline of creation itself. For decades, we believed we understood the rhythm of the cosmos. Stars formed slowly, galaxies took billions of years to mature, and the earliest light of the universe belonged to small, faint clusters, barely strong enough to shine through the cosmic dark. But Webb's new data shattered that story in an instant. These galaxies weren't small or dim. They were massive, structured, and filled with heavy elements that shouldn't even exist that early in time. In one sweep, Webb revealed a universe far more advanced in its infancy than any theory could explain. This discovery didn't just expand our map of the cosmos, it forced scientists to redraw its very borders. What we thought was the beginning may have been something else entirely. A universe building itself faster, brighter, and more chaotically than anyone imagined. And this image, the Cosmos Webb Field, is the key. Within its frame lies over 780,000 galaxies, each a clue in a story that's rewriting the laws of cosmic evolution. But to understand the true scale of this revelation, we have to remember where our vision began.
For as long as humanity has looked to the sky, we've searched for perspective, a way to understand our place among the stars. Every telescope, every lens was a time machine that pushed the horizon a little farther back. But for more than 30 years, our deepest view of the universe came from one instrument, the Hubble Space Telescope. Its legendary ultra-deep field, captured in 2004, was considered the ultimate cosmic portrait, a tiny, seemingly empty patch of sky that, when magnified, revealed around 10,000 galaxies sparkling at the edge of time. That image redefined what we thought deep space meant. For scientists and dreamers alike, it was a glimpse into the past, light that had traveled for more than 13 billion years to reach our eyes. Each of those faint smudges wasn't a star, but an entire galaxy, home to billions of its own suns and worlds. It was a staggering revelation. The universe was not vast and empty, but crowded beyond imagination. For 2 decades, Hubble's snapshot stood as the benchmark of cosmic exploration. But even that incredible window had limits. Hubble could see only the universe in visible and ultraviolet light. The oldest galaxies, those born just after the Big Bang, had light so stretched by the expansion of space that it had shifted into the infrared spectrum, invisible to Hubble's sensors. The earliest chapters of cosmic history were hidden behind a curtain of dust and distance, waiting for an instrument powerful enough to pierce it. That instrument arrived in 2021. With its golden mirror unfolding like the petals of a flower in space, the James Webb Space Telescope became humanity's most ambitious eye on the cosmos. Built to detect infrared light with unprecedented precision, Webb could see not just farther, but earlier, into a time when the first galaxies were just beginning to ignite. When its first deep-field images were transmitted back to Earth, astronomers held their breath. Each pixel represented millions of years of cosmic evolution, light traveling across the entire history of existence to reach a single sensor. Yet what Webb revealed wasn't simply a continuation of Hubble's story. It was a revelation that shattered every expectation. Where Hubble had shown a crowded city block of galaxies, Webb unveiled an entire cosmic metropolis, sprawling structures, intricate webs, and depths that seemed to stretch forever. And in one monumental project, Cosmos Webb, scientists combined over 250 hours of observation into a single frame. The result wasn't just a photograph, it was the largest and deepest map of the universe ever created. Within that frame lay more than 780,000 galaxies, each one a universe of its own. Together, they told a story that would rewrite the rules of cosmic evolution. What began as a search for clarity became a discovery so profound that it left even veteran scientists speechless. But the true shock wasn't in how many galaxies Webb saw. It was in what kind of galaxies appeared. Because buried in that colossal image were objects that shouldn't exist at all.
When the Cosmos Webb image was first unveiled, scientists expected clarity, sharper detail, more galaxies, cleaner data. What they didn't expect was shock. In one sweep, the James Webb Space Telescope revealed a universe that seemed to be running ahead of schedule. This project, known simply as Cosmos Webb, was the largest observing program in Webb's first year of operation. Over 250 hours of exposure were devoted to a single region of sky, a patch roughly 3 times the size of our full moon. To the naked eye, that part of the sky looks completely empty, but Webb's infrared vision turned that darkness into a tapestry of creation. Over 780,000 galaxies, each glowing with light that began its journey billions of years ago. To put that in perspective, imagine printing the famous Hubble Ultra Deep Field on a single sheet of paper. At that same scale, the new Cosmos Webb image would be a mural over 4 meters wide, a map so vast that every dot and swirl represents entire galaxies, not stars. The scale alone was overwhelming, but the surprises hidden within were even more extraordinary. Among the hundreds of thousands of galaxies, astronomers found one object that immediately stood out. A strange, intertwined formation now nicknamed the Infinity Galaxy. 2 galaxies in the midst of a collision, merging in a perfect figure-8 pattern. But what stunned researchers wasn't just its beauty, it was what they found between them. A supermassive black hole, forming not inside either galaxy, but between them. A phenomenon never before observed, suggesting that black holes might be born through interactions far more complex than we've ever imagined. And that was only the beginning. Across the field, Webb began detecting galaxies from different eras of the universe's history, all layered in a single image like cosmic archaeology. In the nearby universe, it captured grand spirals, massive ellipticals, and chaotic clusters locked in gravitational dances. But as scientists looked deeper and further back in time, they began to see the universe as it was when it was less than 1 billion years old. What they found there was impossible to ignore. Galaxies that should have been small and shapeless were instead well-formed and structured, their spiral arms already in place. Others appeared to have stopped forming stars entirely, so-called quenched galaxies, existing in a cosmic era when everything else was supposed to be bursting with life and light. These discoveries shattered long-standing theories that galaxy formation was a slow, gradual process. Webb showed it was anything but. Even more startling was the composition of these ancient systems. They contained heavier elements like carbon and nitrogen, materials that could only exist if at least one full generation of stars had already lived and died before them. In cosmic terms, that means entire stellar lifetimes passed in what should have been the universe's first moments. To astronomers, that was like finding a fully grown forest inside the ashes of a just erupted volcano. It shouldn't be there, yet it is. And the implications are staggering. The more scientists studied the image, the clearer it became. The Cosmos Webb wasn't just expanding our view of space, it was compressing the timeline of creation. The early universe wasn't quiet and empty, it was vibrant, crowded, and alive. And as the data poured in, one question grew louder with every new discovery. If galaxies this massive and mature existed so soon after the Big Bang, then what else might be hiding beyond the limits of even Webb's vision? For centuries, humanity has stared into the night sky and wondered how far the stars truly go. But the James Webb Space Telescope didn't just answer that question, it made it irrelevant. Because what it revealed wasn't a boundary, it was an invitation. The cosmos Webb field is more than a scientific achievement, it's a message written in light. Every pixel of that image, every tiny dot representing an entire galaxy, is a time capsule. Together they stretch across 13.5 billion years of history, compressing the story of the universe into a single, breathtaking frame. Within it are the first galaxies, the first stars, the first whispers of structure, the fingerprints of creation itself. When you zoom into that image, you aren't just looking at space, you're looking through time. The light from those distant systems began its journey before Earth existed, before the sun had formed, before there was even oxygen to breathe. And yet, that light traveled patiently across billions of years, just to reach the small detectors of a telescope orbiting a tiny blue planet and the eyes of a species determined to understand where it came from. That's the quiet miracle of it all. For the first time in history, we aren't just guessing at our origins, we're seeing them. Galaxies in their infancy, stars being born, and the universe itself awakening. And what we're learning is humbling. Creation wasn't slow or predictable. It was restless, fierce, and far more creative than our imagination ever allowed. The data from Webb's first year is only the beginning. Astronomers have mapped less than 1% of the sky at this depth. If this single field, a patch smaller than your thumbnail held at arm's length, contains over 780,000 galaxies, how many more worlds, suns, and civilizations might be waiting beyond it? The number becomes almost meaningless, not just trillions, but perhaps an infinity of possibilities. And that's the power of perspective. The farther we look, the more we realize that the universe isn't just vast, it's alive. It's not a cold expanse of emptiness, but a cosmic garden, constantly growing, constantly reshaping itself. Webb didn't just show us more galaxies. It revealed that existence itself is more intricate, more dynamic, and more mysterious than we ever imagined. Yet, perhaps the most extraordinary part of this story isn't the telescope, or even the image itself. It's us. Because everything Webb sees, every star, every galaxy, every glimmer of light, is made of the same elements we are. The carbon in your cells, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you breathe, all of it was forged in stars like those shining in that ancient image. We aren't separate from the cosmos. We are its continuation, its way of looking back on itself. So when you see the cosmos Webb field, remember, you're not just looking at galaxies scattered across space. You're looking at time made visible, the history of everything condensed into a single window. A window that proves the universe isn't a place we live in. It's a story we're still part of. And if this one tiny image has already rewritten what we thought we knew about creation, then maybe the next revelation, waiting somewhere in the darkness, won't just change our understanding of the cosmos. It might change our understanding of ourselves.